This is a very short video that does not follow the pattern I've established recently of past, present, and future energies. It's just a very quick sharing of an insight that I got recently that I thought was worth sharing. I've been a fan of Chris Christopherson from as long as I can remember being aware of his music. I consider him a especially talented songwriter. He has a way with words that I really admire. There's something about his music that I find almost addictive. Just listen to some of his songs over and over. I liked him in A Star Is Born. I'm talking about the 70s version with Barbra Streisand. And the guy was a Rhodes Scholar, obviously no dummy, as was Bill Clinton, Rachel Maddow, a number of other very intelligent people who, some of whom have become celebrities, and that's why we know about it. But Chris Christopherson has had some very dark times in his life. I believe drug addiction was bothering him for many years. And I saw on Facebook not long ago an account of how he happened to write Why Me, Lord, one of his songs that turned out to be one of his greatest hits ever that he's recorded. And that prompted me to Google Why Me, Lord, and up came several videos of him singing the song, one of which had his account in his own words of the backstory. Apparently he was taken by a friend to a church, which was something he hardly ever did on his own. And the minister asked at the end of the sermon, "Is there anybody here who is lost?" And Chris said in this account that he held up his hand, and surprised him that he did it. And the minister asked anybody that felt lost to come forward, and he vowed that he would not do that, in spite of the fact that in a moment later he got up out of his seat and did walk up to the front. And the account that I heard him relate said that he didn't remember what the minister said, but he felt he had a very real religious experience, felt an overwhelming release and sense of forgiveness that he hadn't known he needed. And when I read that and then heard him say that, I thought, well, good for him. Obviously, finding that spiritual sense of forgiveness is a wonderful thing. But the thought crossed my mind, it's too bad that people have a religious experience when I wish they would have a more spiritual experience. And no sooner had that thought crossed my mind that I heard, and I'm not normally a clairaudient person, but this time I clearly heard, clear as a bell, you have to do religion first. And I'm getting goosebumps telling you this because for me it was a profound realization. And what my mind did with that is came up with this meme that religion is spirituality with training wheels. And for me, that's just a rather humorous way of saying something that I think is very profound, because for me, it helped me have a lot more compassion for people that are going through a religious experience. I had, for most of my life, judged rather harshly sometimes people that were deeply into religion, as were my parents. I was raised in a fear-based religious home, and I escaped and grew away from it. And I've tended to judge my parents pretty harshly for raising me that way. But this insight that I'm talking about here gave me a lot more compassionate for the fact that sometimes people that are younger souls just need to go through that phase. As with children and adolescents in a given lifetime, we've all been there. We need the structure of a parent figure, or preferably parents, but at least a parent figure in our lives that can give us this structure and sometimes basically just tell us what to do when that's required. And my insight is that all of us, as we go through lifetime after lifetime, on a spiritual level, we go through something very comparable. We go through a period when we're younger souls where we need that structure, need somebody to tell us what to do, tell us how it is. We need the mother, father figure in the sky saying, you know, do it this way. This is what's right. This is what's wrong. Until eventually we become mature enough spiritually that we realize that the truth is inside of us all along and that we don't need the organized religion anymore. So I hope if you enjoyed this video, you'll hit the thumbs up button, and if you know somebody that would benefit from it, share it. And if you like it well enough to share it, comment and tell me so in the comments. I would appreciate that very much. I will see you next time.